Hi and welcome families. This is Miss Abel, the principal here at Cooper Academy. I want to thank you all for watching our video. Typically we would be meeting with parents and students the last week of May in preparation for the start of school in August, but unfortunately we aren't able to do that this year, so we're hoping that this video will help answer any of your questions. On our agenda, we will talk about what it means to be a Cooper Academy Scholar. We'll talk about our classes and our bell schedule, our standard of dress policy, our before and after school program, and then some of the school supplies that you'll need with you in August. All right, first, what does it mean to be a Cooper Academy Scholar at an IB school? Well, an IB education is really student-centered and student-focused. Students are responsible for taking ownership of their learning. The teacher is the facilitator of the learning, and in conjunction, everybody's working together to help the student become a more well-rounded and globally minded citizen. Once students complete 8th grade at Cooper Academy, they will then go on to Fresno High School, which is the IB high school. One of the big things that's different between Cooper Academy and then the more traditional middle school is our students here at Cooper Academy will take 8 classes versus the traditional 6 classes at a regular middle school. The 8 classes students will take here at Cooper Academy are English Language Arts, Math, Science, History, Spanish, PE, VAPA, which is Visual or Performing Arts, and a class that's specific to Cooper Academy and the IB program, and it's called Design. All right, our schedule for like a daily schedule, school begins at 9:05 a.m. and students are out of school at 3:45 p.m. During the week, we have a slightly different schedule on Mondays. On Mondays, students go to all 8 classes, and those class periods are 41 minutes long. On Tuesday through Friday, students will only attend 4 classes, and those classes are 76 minutes long. And the reason that we do that is the 76-minute classes just gives students an opportunity to go deeper in the learning, gives an opportunity for teachers to extend the learning, and just really an opportunity for students to work together in groups and group projects. One of the things that we do offer is breakfast to every student, and breakfast begins at 8:40 a.m. and goes until 9:05 when classes begin. Some of our students will be riding buses to school. Buses will drop students off at 8:50 a.m. so they will have plenty of time to get to the cafeteria and have breakfast. Students that are riding a bus to school, please know that the bus schedules will be available on Fresno Unified's website the first week of August. Generally speaking, a bus stop will be the closest elementary school to wherever you live. And that will be both for pickup in the morning and drop off in the afternoon. So our before school program begins at 7:30 a.m. So those parents that need to drop students off before the 9:05 bell rings, you can do so. Our campus is open at 7:30. Students have an opportunity for a couple different things in the morning in the before school program. They can get tutoring, or if students don't need any extra support or help with their classes, then we do offer enrichment programs. In our after school program, same type of thing. Students can get tutoring from their teachers if they need it, or if they don't need any extra support, then there are enrichment opportunities in the after school program. And our after school program goes from 3:45 to 6 p.m. Everyone is eligible for the after school program. You don't need to qualify or anything. All that we need for you to do is complete an application, and those applications will be available the first day of school. Our standard of dress policy, one of the things that is required by all secondary, so middle and high school students in Fresno Unified, is that all students must wear an ID. Here at Cooper Academy, we will give you that first ID and lanyard, but if it gets lost or broken, or if you just like to have a second one, you can purchase that for $5. But again, we will give you your first ID and lanyard. We do have some school-approved colors that students are allowed to wear, and those colors are black, navy, khaki, white, gray, denim, purple, and yellow. Students, we do require you to wear a collared shirt And so that could be like a polo or at least a shirt that does have a collar. You are able to wear shorts, jeans, khaki pants, any of that, as long as everything is in school approved colors. And parents, just want to let you know that if a student does come to school out of standard of dress, they will be able to continue their learning, but just know that we will be calling you and asking you to bring them a change of clothing. Some basic school supplies that you will need in August. You'll need a backpack, a 2-inch binder, paper in your backpack, and then a pen or pencil. All right, Cooper Academy families, that's it for the video. I want to thank you very much for taking the time to watch our video. If you still have questions, there's a couple of opportunities for you to get those questions answered. First of all of the information that I shared tonight is on our Cooper Academy website at www.fresnounified.org/schools/Cooper. And when you go onto our website, you'll see something that says Future Cougar Information. If you click on that icon, all of the information again that I shared with you here on the video will be there and hopefully answer any other questions you might have. Also, you are free to call our Cooper Academy office. We are here every day from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 248-7050. One other thing, parents, that we want you to be aware of, we do send out summer mailer, which is information and forms that students will need to bring back to school on the first day. It's emergency cards and forms that you will need to complete and give to your child for the first day of school. That's it, and I want to again thank everyone for watching our video, and we look forward to seeing everyone in August. Thank you, and go Cougars!
Okay, thank you, Ms. Abel. My name is Mr. Yates. I'm the school counselor at Cooper, and I'm really excited that you guys are taking the time to check out these videos that Ms. Abel and I are making for you. We're really disappointed that we couldn't be there in person to welcome you and your student to Cooper and to part of the Cooper Academy family, but we're excited that you're here nonetheless. And tonight I want to talk to you a little bit about some important information that you're going to need to know to help your student transition into middle school. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to talk about these 4 things tonight: brain development, the school environment, peer relationships, and parent support. All kind of the 4 major things that are important to this transition into middle school. So let's begin with brain development. Now, as adults, our brains are fully developed. So there's lots of things that we have the ability to do. We're not always good at it, but we have the ability to do things like manage our emotions. We have the ability to think before we act. We have filters in the things that we say. Now, when we talk about adolescent brain development, those things aren't necessarily happening. So it's really important for you as a parent and also for us as educators to keep in mind that these students' brains are developing every single day, every minute of the day, and things are going to be changing and things are going to be challenging, not only for them, but for us as well. So our main job over the next 2 or 3 years, parents and educators, is to support and to help guide those students in this developmental stage. You'll notice that their brains are inconsistent. They cause inconsistent behavior, inconsistent patterns, things like, maybe one day they're upset about something, the next day they're totally fine, or maybe they believe one thing and then they don't. And that's natural. You might also find that they're very reactive, right? Things may set them off, or they may be overly excited about certain things, and that's all kind of due to the brain chemistry and what's happening in the brain at any moment. And you may also notice a lot of confusion. We kind of joke on our campus that there'll be times where we ask a student, hey, why did you do that? And they're like, I don't know. And that's a frustrating response, but sometimes it's an accurate response. They may not know why they did a certain thing. They may not have an answer to that question. So just kind of keeping this in mind, remembering that their brains are developing. They don't have the same skills that we have. So we can't have the same expectations for adolescents as we do for adults. One of the other big changes is school environment. So coming from an elementary school to a middle school, there's lots of things that change, structures that change. So your student may be used to one classroom with one teacher sitting at one desk, and now they're going to be coming to middle school where on our campus they'll have 6 teachers and 8 different classes. Things are going to be more dynamic too. Instead of being in one classroom and going to recess and then going to lunch and going back to the classroom, They have passing periods. They have 4 different classes a day, maybe 8 on Mondays, and they're going to be doing lots of movement, and it's going to be a much more dynamic kind of day than they would have in elementary school. And there's also the sense of increased responsibility. So now as they get into middle school, we're trying to help them with that personal responsibility. And in 6th grade, we're going to help them transition into middle school, and there's going to be a little bit less of that responsibility in 6th grade as there might be in 8th grade. We'll scaffold that over the next 2 or 3 years for them. And our hope is that we are providing support and guidance in that way. So when they get to high school and that responsibility is squarely on their shoulders, that they're ready for that and they can be successful in high school. You also notice that peer relationships are going to change quite a bit in middle school as they did from elementary school. So I put on here that peers are greater than family, and that's kind of a scary equation, but the math is right on that one in adolescence. Peers have a much stronger influence than family does at this moment. In elementary school, what mom and dad said, what a caregiver said, that's kind of what goes. In middle school, they're much more likely to be influenced by their peers. They may be more influenced by the things they say, things they wear, the things they do, and they're kind of looking around the world, trying to figure out where they fit in. And part of doing that is following their peers or doing things that their peers are doing. And so that's important to kind of keep in mind. And as a parent, as a caregiver, you're going to really want to make sure that you're also not only focused on their in-person relationships, but also their online relationships and kind of what that looks like. Social media is a big part of that. And one of the things I like to say is that as a parent, you should treat their offline life the same way you do their online life. So if there's certain rules that you have for the way they interact with people in the real world, those rules should translate somehow to how they're interacting with people online or through social media as well. Parent involvement, this is a huge, important part in middle school. We know, all the research tells us that the more involved, the more encouraging, the more parents are kind of along this path with their students, the better off everybody's going to be. And these are some tools that we're going to encourage you to use. So the Parent Atlas portal, this is a place where you can go to get things like attendance, you can get grades, you can see the teacher's grade books, you can communicate with teachers through this. It's a really important tool. I'll encourage you to check that at least once a week so that you're up on your students' grades and you're talking with them about how school's going. EduText is a daily text message. So these are things you can get grades and attendance sent right to your phone on a daily basis. Those are both things that you'll be able to get from me at the beginning of the year if you don't already have access to them. So make sure you follow up with me when we start school in August. We're also going to encourage you to engage with your students' friends. We talked about how important peers are, and as a parent, you really want to make sure you know who those friends are and the things that they value and the things that they're doing as much as possible. And maybe getting to meet their families and their parents too, so that you understand the type of influences that are around your friends. The other thing is getting involved at school, right? So we have lots of school site activities. We have things like Parent University that you can get involved in. We have a monthly parent coffee hour with myself where I come and we talk about things like social media. We talk about mental health issues. We talk about high school graduation, and we talk about college, things that are going to be really important for you to start thinking about as middle school parents. And we also have school site council where you can help make some decisions about what's going on at school, ELAC, lots of different opportunities for you to get involved. And like I said before, the more involved you are, the more that you're kind of a part of this whole program that's going on, the better off your students are going to be. So we talked about some of the major things that you're going to see from your students. Now here's what you can expect to see from yourself. Yeah, so you may feel like this at times. We feel like this at times. We want to pull our hair out. We get super frustrated. But here's what I want you to keep in mind. As challenging as this time is, as trying as it may be as a parent, and believe me, we understand as educators, it's important to keep in mind that this time plays a critical role in your students' development. And the more that you are active and engaged, the more that you're guiding them, the more that you're supporting them, the better off they're going to be making it through the next 2 to 3 years and help them be successful in high school as well. It's also really important to remember that you're not alone in this journey, right? You are now part of the Cooper Academy family, and we're going to make a commitment over the next 2 to 3 years, and even beyond that, as much as we have the capacity to do that, to help support you, to support your student, to guide you in decision making, to guide you in, what is the future going to look like? How do you help your student be the best version of themselves? And we're all here to support you with that. And we want to make sure that you remember that you're not alone in that journey. And to that end, we have a lot of support at our school. You can see we have an amazing admin team. Myself, I'm the school counselor. We have a social worker on our campus who's here part-time. We have a part-time restorative practice counselor as well. We have a really great after-school program coordinator who's amazing with our students. And then we have our homeschool liaison, Ms. Maldonado, who kind of serves as that connection point between our families, community, and the school. So we really want to do everything that we can to partner with you in helping make sure that your student is successful and happy and has a great time while they're at Cooper over the next 2 to 3 years. So when you're done watching this video, take some time to look through our website. On this page that you're on right now, you'll be able to see some contact information for the admin team and also for our counseling team. So if you have any further questions or need any help, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're really feeling it. We wish we could see you in person and get to meet you and welcome your student onto our campus. And it's a tough time for everybody, but we really thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and just know that we're so excited to welcome you all to Cooper and to be part of our family in August. Everybody, please make sure that you stay safe. We want to see you in August. And if you have any questions, please reach out. Thanks.